Hey family, today we are going to be talking about approval. There's a quote that I really enjoyed reading, and it's by Eckhart Tolle. And I might be saying his name wrong, so please don't come for me in the comments. And he says this: stop looking outside of scraps of pleasure or fulfillment for validation, security, or love. You have a treasure within that is infinitely greater than anything the world can offer. So let's look into the Bible. In Galatians chapter 1, verse 10, Paul poses two questions. He says this: for am I now trying to persuade people or God? Or am I striving to please people? If I were still trying to please people, would I not be a servant of Christ? We also see this being shown in the Gospels. In John chapter 12, verses 42 and 43, it says this: many people did believe in him as in Jesus Christ. However, including some of the Jewish leaders, but they wouldn't admit it for fear that the Pharisees would expel them from the synagogue, for they loved human praise more than the praise of God. He also says this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. For we speak as messengers approved by God to be entrusted with the good news. Our purpose is to please God, not people. He alone examines the motives of our hearts. Paul is basically asking, who are we going to please today? Ourselves, God, or others? Trust me, if you can't answer that question right now, by the end of this video, your actions will show you who you put your validation in. Let's think about this for a second. Does the approval that you crave, does it make you feel like you're on a spinning wheel? You got to constantly do the same thing over and over and over? Or does it feel like peace? Because the validation that you seek has already been paid for. God warns us. He says, whenever we are looking for approval in the world, in mankind, we are always going to be hit with disappointment. But if we look into God, the same thing cannot be said. Because once God makes a promise, he always fulfills it. Real quick, if you like the videos that you're getting from me, you definitely want to listen to this podcast by Warren Hall called Weapons of Love. And it's on Podbean, and you will not regret it. All right? Now let's get back to the video. There is a blurb I read in the Life Application Study Bible. And it's about Jeremiah, but it goes with what is being taught today. It says this: Jeremiah served God faithfully for 40 years. During that time, the people ignored, rejected, and persecuted him. Jeremiah's preaching was unsuccessful by human standards. Yet, he did not fail in his task. He remained faithful to God. We as Christians are called to do the same. People's acceptance or rejection of us is not the measure of our success. So it should not be the measure of our success. God's approval alone should be our standard for service. We must bring God's message to others even when we are rejected, and we must do God's work even if it means that we should suffer. As Christians, we must remember the opinions of the world is always going to change because it is constantly based on the views of man's passions and their own desires. It's not built on a solid foundation. We see this on the news. Think about it. When you're watching the news, you see this happening. If you just listen closely and watch our politicians, they are constantly in disagreements, constantly bashing the other. Laws are being put place by one And then as soon as another one comes into the seat, it's being deemed as unlawful, not right. Why? Why do we so desperately want to make people of this world happy when they have shown us multiple times, countless times, that they will never be satisfied, they will never be happy? All we getting is exhaustion, unfulfillment, and not true joy. Whereas in the Bible, we too see countless accounts, but the accounts are God's unfailing love, trust, his unchanging personality, his presence, and his assurance is always on display. From when the time he created the world with just his words to this very day. Jesus Christ is the only constant friend that will stick by you even to the ends of the world. So why not start seeking his approval? Why not go to him and ask him, how can I please you? What will please you? Let's seek his approval instead of our parents, our bosses, and especially our significant others. Getting outside approval, it will only drain you. But Jesus Christ's approval, it brings peace and it illuminates your soul from the inside out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.